Hey everyone, Alex and Mike here with Sage Insights with another new podcast/video. Great to see you, Mike. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. We're going to talk about today how quality content can give you an instant win for Black Friday. So
That's right.
what does quality content mean to you, Mike? Can you elaborate?
Quality content is something that your visitors will get some sort of value from. Doesn't really matter what it is.
Can I get it on Fiverr.com?
Possibly, most likely not.
So please elaborate more. I'm just messing around. What is quality content?
Quality content, like I said, is any content that will actually give the end user some sort of value. Now, it can be written form like text, it can be a video, it can be an image, it can be an infographic, it can be any form of content, but it's something that the user is going to get something out of that is of value to them. So if they're looking for something, it's going to answer a question. If they're doing research, it's going to give them a knowledge. If it's a how-to guide, they're going to understand how to accomplish something. It really doesn't matter what it is. It's unique, it's original, it's easy to digest, it's shareable. So it's something that you would share, I suppose, but it's something that's going to be of value to whoever's reading it. They're not going to read it and be like, okay, that was a waste of time.
So something comes to mind, and if I can just try to make the statement and you see how you react to it. Essentially, I look at it in two ways. One is we want to create some kind of piece of content that Google will rank in order to show my website. And number two is something that is actually interesting to that person. I mean, are those two things synonymous, or are they two different subjects? Like, for example, is there some kind of content that might be ranked better but is less interesting to a prospective client, or are we talking one and the same?
I think now it's more one and the same. In previous years, you could stuff a whole bunch of keywords in and Google would see all the keywords and think, okay, this must be super relevant. This is going to rank higher. Now Google can understand that. If you try to put a whole bunch of keywords in white at the bottom of your page, Google will see that now, and it'll understand that's in white or it's hidden or something like that. And it can really understand how a user reads and understands content. And it can certainly understand if it's unique or if it's been repurposed. And again, there's nothing wrong with repurposing content. News sites do it all the time. You know, it's the same story and, told 5-6 different ways, or 20 different ways, or 3 different ways, and syndicated out 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's really one and the same.
So the days of stuffing keywords in white text are over, and it's essentially synonymous. Quality content means something that the user will really benefit from, and Google has become smart enough to understand that there is how to ensure that is what the results are showing to them.
Exactly.
I understand. So Black Friday coming up, not too long from now. What are some instant wins that we can gain from this kind of thing?
So if you're an e-commerce site and you're focused on Black Friday, you could certainly do some sort of buying guide. You could do product reviews. You could do product comparisons, all things that someone who is in the buying mode or researching mode now for Black Friday, for the holidays, a different take on what they might be looking for.
Okay, I'm just doing a little Google search here. We're 52 days away from Black Friday. Somebody that has a awesome, whatever it may be, buying guide, top 10 list, something, whatever it is, that they create now, has any chance of showing up in organic search within that time frame?
Sure. I mean, you can show up within a few days. It really just depends on what the content is, and more likely it'll take a couple weeks, but you could certainly get started now. But that'd be for more general scope. But if someone were to type in a very specific phrase and you address that, you could certainly show up. You go into Google Search Console, you request indexing of the page, it'll do it almost instantly.
Understood. So somebody that's running any kind of WordPress site or any kind of website, what are some tips that we can give them to how do they know what should be written about, right? Obviously they have their product or service, but how do they tailor that to a particular audience that may be interested in what it is that they're selling?
You just write to the user, straightforward. I would not write long, bulky paragraphs. I'd break it up into, 2 to 3 sentences max per paragraph. Plenty of white space, make it easy to read, put visuals in. Those are probably the best practices.
What about, should there be some basic keyword research done with some of the tools that are out there? Or do you think just taking their ideal customer avatar and writing to that person?
I mean, of course, you want to answer questions out there. You know, you can look on Reddit or Quora or, you know, Google, and you find what other people have written, and you can expand upon it or answer questions that haven't been addressed. Oftentimes I'll look on, you know, you can look on Amazon, look up for the specific product. So if you're selling TVs and you're going to write a piece of content, I would look in the question and answers from your biggest competitor and address those questions that people are already asking.
I like that.
Inside of your content.
I love that also because if these are questions that are happening on a regular basis, it's wonderful to be able to say, instead of repeating and going into a 10-minute conversation, hey, here's a link to our blog post that addresses this specific issue. Which
right.
Really
and you figure if you're wondering, or if someone else is wondering it, how many other people have the same question? They're just not going to take the time to write the question.
Sure.
So.
Interesting. Okay, great. So potential for some wins with respect to writing great content now for an event a couple of months from now. And that'll give some instant boost to, let's say, visibility online with respect to that particular sale.
Sure.
Excellent. What else should our listeners know?
Just keep it simple, make it thorough, make it easy to read, and it should flow. And it shouldn't be too salesy. I mean, nothing wrong with putting a few product links or, you know, if you're doing a comparison, comparing your own product to other things, but it should be providing value on both sides.
Sure. Not too salesy, not stuffing keywords in every way. Just speak straightforward in an informative way and make it something of value.
Right. Putting a table of contents on the top of the blog, if you're going to have several paragraphs with the correct heading, is a great way for users to find exactly what they're looking for.
I really like that.
One thing you definitely should do is to make sure you give a conclusion. I can't tell you how many product comparisons I've read where at the end, they don't actually give you the answer. Oftentimes users will just scroll straight down to the bottom. So putting like a too long, didn't read synopsis up top is a great way. And then going into the details. At the end of the day, people want a question. If you have a legitimate site, they're assuming you've done the research. Some people will read through it in detail. Some people won't. But at the end of the day, you need to give people a clear answer.
Got it. So be straightforward, be clear, and make sure you actually resolve the issue and don't just create more questions.
Exactly.
I understand. Great. Anything else, Mike?
I think that pretty much sums it up.
Okay.
Quality content, easy to read, easy to digest, straightforward, and unique.
And has the best opportunity for shareability and the like.
Right.
Excellent. Well, that was short and to the point, and we appreciate everyone listening and watching, and we'll be back in the not too distant future with more quality content. Thanks a lot, Mike.